Good evening, good morning, good day, and welcome once again to another Home in Italy live streaming session, live from beautiful, very warm but very beautiful Abruzzo in Italy. So good to be back again. These evenings are just the Thursdays just fly by, don't they? It's just unbelievable. Time is passing too quickly. We need to learn how to slow it down. We're all getting too old. Anyway. How are you this evening? Hope everybody's doing really well. And if it's the first time that you're joining us, then welcome, welcome, welcome. Please let us know where you are in the world by writing in the chat box, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching on Facebook. Let us know that you're out there, because sometimes I look at these screens and I can't see how many people's in. I don't know if anything's working. So yeah, once I start seeing all these people starting to come through, that's it. So let us know where you are in the world. It's always good to see the same face, and it's always good to see new ones as well. Not faces, but you know what I mean. I'm excited. Tonight is going to be a great session. It's Meet the Home Buyers, and as we know, Meet the Home Buyers is all about meeting the home buyers. Hence the title, Meet the Home Buyers. You see, it's all well thought out. We don't mess around with things here. It's going to be a great one. We're meeting a couple, John and Laurie. Oops, I've left my telephone on. That's a bit unprofessional, isn't it? Leaving my telephone on. I better knock that off now. Meeting a couple called John and Laurie that did some people think it's the unthinkable, but it's unbelievable how popular it is now. They bought sight unseen off of one of the videos. They've never been to the area before. And they came out 2 weeks ago, I think it is now, and I was a little nervous, I've got to be honest, as I always am when people come and they've never seen anything. But yeah, wait while you hear this for a story. Absolutely brilliant. So we're going to get into that pretty quick. I'll only start nattering on just for a few moments because there are a few things that I want to say to you, but it is going to be a great one tonight. So please stay tuned to the very, very end. Or if you have to disappear, then get back onto YouTube afterwards or onto Facebook, and you can watch it all again. Okay, so a couple of notices. Let me just get to I've got so many things up because I've got some screen sharing to do tonight and things like that. It's definitely something's going to go wrong, but anyway, we'll do our best. Notices. Where's my notices, Tony? Here we go. First notice. The first one. Some sad news. Some really, really sad news, and I'm sorry to say it. But there's no live stream next week. Next Thursday, there is nothing. But I will be doing the Thursday after, and we will be carrying on right up to Christmas. I'm not talking about Christmas now because it's 40 degrees outside and it doesn't feel close to Christmas. But I will be putting some publicity on from next week, so everybody knows what's happening in September, and then we will carry on every Thursday right up until the Christmas break. Jaren's saying you've even got a tan. It's true. Well, it's so warm, isn't it? Even though I'm supposed to be taking sort of some time out, we seem to be in the office quite a lot. But yeah, I go out at the times of day when the sun's at its hottest, stand out on the drive for 5 minutes, and that's it. You get this all over tan. It's great, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah, that's the first notice. Next Thursday, no streaming session, but then we'll be back again from the Thursday after. The other bits of notice, you all know about the tours. Tony, if you could just knock things off for the moment. So the tours for next year are January the 25th, 26th, March 21st, 22nd, and May 23rd and 24th. We are getting bookings in. Anybody that has done their booking, and it says that the invoice should be with you in 3 to 5 days. If you haven't received anything, please check in your spam boxes and things like that, because you may find that they go into there. But your bookings have been all put to, or you're booked in anyway. So, and for the next week to 10 days, it may take a little bit longer for invoices to come through, but start booking. And if you want to know how to book the tours and you want information on these tours, then I've actually added the new menu to the website. I'm going to talk about the website in a second. So I'm going to try and do this. Let me just get rid of what was on there. Let me share the screen just to show you. So hopefully you can see this. So now, as you will see on the, let me get to it. Hopefully you can see my my arrow. You can see at the top that we've got the tours section that is now added to it. I'm going to do some more publicity further down here. But if you follow the tours section, then let me just make sure that everybody's seeing this. Yep, it says on the road. what you do then is the PDF is clicked inside this. I will show you this in a second. And you can make your booking here. So obviously names of people and that kind of thing. Choose the tour date that you're looking at and then send submit. Okay, and then after that, you will receive an invoice, a deposit invoice, and it all works from there. And if you want information, you click on the logo. It's all modern. Look at all this. It's all done. There are the dates again for you to look at. Each tour is the same, so the itinerary is the same. It gives you a little bit of a list of the itinerary, what we do for the welcome aperitivo, about what we do on the Thursday and the Friday. It tells you about the lunch being included, obviously the price and that kind of thing, and then it gives you the information of one of the hotels that we recommend, but it is held in the centre of Pescara, so you can choose anywhere. But we do collect from this particular hotel and drop off at this particular hotel as well. So just go along to the website, www.ahomeinitaly.com, follow this tours button from the homepage, or from any page, go onto the tours, and then you can get all the information that you need. So hopefully that is clear enough. Let me just get rid of this stream because that takes away one. There you go. Okay. So yeah, make sure you make a booking on that. They are fantastic things. And we're going to be doing, we're also going to be doing them in September, October, and November, potentially next year as well. So if you're not thinking about coming out the first half of the year, then we will be doing the second half as well. The last bit of notice before I bring John and Laurie on that I want to tell you about is, because today we're talking about remote purchasing as well, this is something that's a bit, I can't believe how many people are remote buying, people that just get onto the channel. Thank you so much for the support, by the way. Get onto the channel, find a place that they love, and they just say, we want that place. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight as well. I also understand that there's people that would never do that, and I completely get that. What I don't want people to be concerned about is that the only business that we do, if you like, is remote purchasing, because that is not true. Now, I'm going to sort of slap myself a little bit for this, but I have not been very good at keeping the website up to date. Now, I can see Tony is laughing on the little screen that I can always see him. Tony is our producer, by the way. And it is true. I am going to say it, and I keep saying I'm going to update it, and I never do. So I am promising. This is a promise. Write it down, Tone. Right? He is actually laughing. That during September, the website is going to be bang up to date. Did you notice I said during September? I didn't give a date. I said September. Tony's starting with the the sound effects are all coming on. It will happen in September. The website will be up to date, and every new property we get will be added to the website. To be honest with you, I've been a little bit overwhelmed with YouTube and a little bit overwhelmed with these sessions, and I want to keep these going. We're going to get the channel going stronger and everything else. But I understand I am missing things for a huge amount of people, and I understand that people don't want to remote buy. We do not do videos of all the properties we have. We just cannot physically do it. I just pick the odd ones in different areas and ones that are a little bit different, that kind of thing. So there's lots for people to see. There's lots and lots of people to see. But I do realize that there's lots of people that don't want to remote buy and that rely on the website and then want to come out and view properties and that kind of thing. So everything's going to be up to date. So you no need to worry about that from September. And I'm also going to have a new thing put in place I'm going to let you know about in September for people that do want to remote buy and people that have no intentions of coming to view. They're just looking for the right thing and want to remote buy. They're not two separate things. They're going to run along together. But the important thing is the website's going to be it's going to be kept up to date all the time. Katie's saying, I'm going on the January tour. I tried to book at the G Hotel, but their website seems not to be allowing any bookings in 2024. Last day to book is December. Is this typical? I would say yes, because we're in August now. Everybody's asleep in August time in Italy, so they've probably not updated their website. I will check with them because if you are coming on a tour, you need to mention that you are coming with a home in Italy because you should get a slightly better rate. Michael's saying Tony's an absolute legend with the sound effect. Don't start him off, Tom, because anything could happen. Michael, should I say? So yeah, if you are booking. if you are booking the hotel, it may be worth waiting while September, and then try and book it then. Any problems, send an email to info@homeinitaly.com. So there you go. I've promised now the website will be bang up to date in September. It's going to be there for catering for people, as it should do, and quite rightly so, that are looking to come out rather than remote buying. But obviously, we're going to keep the channel and everything else going, and there's going to be another section for people that are looking to remote buy. TF Dewey saying, I personally feel homes sometimes look good online, only to be disappointed with the viewing. For me, I'd never buy it without viewing in person. I get that. I completely understand that. But some people just haven't got the time to come out. And the thing with our channel, I'm really conscious about what we do, because tonight when you speak to John and Laurie, I can imagine people being nervous, but I'm also nervous because you're telling people about something they've never seen it. But these places that I go in, and I don't just video the best bits, I video everything, because you have to do it that way. And I don't know, up to now, touch wood, everybody's been happy, so we'll just have to see. But we're all different, aren't we? We're all different. I don't think I would do it, to be honest with you. But there you go. We're going to talk to a couple now that did, and they can tell us whether or not things worked out for them. So let me now work out how to bring John and Laurie on, and let's get started on tonight's session, which is Meet the Home Buyers. Here we go. Good evening.
Buonasera.
I'm saying good evening to you. What time? Oh no, what time is it over there? Midday, 1 o'clock, is it?
1 o'clock, siesta time.
So your siesta time and my vino time. So it's between the two of us, we've got good things happening. Okay, so this is John and Laurie. I've noticed, John, that you've only put your name on the label. Laurie, have you seen that?
That's okay. The label?
Yeah,
that's all right.
You're letting him off that easy.
Yeah, if I had known it was supposed to be John and Laurie, I would have did that, but I hadn't done this before, so it's just got my name.
Yeah, nicely got out of John. Good one. Anyway, so John and Laurie, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us where you're from in the States.
Go ahead, dear.
Yeah, we're from Western New York, the Leroy, to be specific, about an hour east of Buffalo, just south and slightly west of Rochester. And
okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about
the Finger Lakes region. Yeah, it's pretty. The weather here is less than opportune. You know, it changes a couple times a day. Usually cloudy, usually cold.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like the UK then. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So we're going to start from the very, very beginning before we get into the photographs and everything else. First of all, why Italy? Why did you choose to buy a place in Italy? What's the connection? Have you been here before? Why Italy?
Well, half of my family is Italian. They came from Italy, but initially we were looking for a retirement home, and we looked around. What we wanted to do was Florida, Sarasota, and we were thinking, oh, let's get a mobile home. We'll set up down in Florida. So for about a year or so, we were online looking at mobile homes, but the lot rent was outrageous, $1,100 a month. So we kind of put that on the shelf and said, no, and just started watching lots of your videos. We'd sit down here at night and we'd binge watch one right after another.
Well, not just Dave's, but others.
Oh,
as
others,
well,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But what really drew us to Dave's videos was his thoroughness in presenting not just the home but the area, and that's what really captivated us. Was he'd take you through the village first and show you about the life and the people and the what the environment looked like, and that really gives you a sense of placement. And even before you see the house, it's like you're already, oh yeah, we want to live there. That's cool. That this place is seriously nice. And then he shows you the house, and it's a great package. It's done very well visually and informatively.
Very kind of you to say so. Very kind of you to say so. No, it is important for the area. So Abruzzo wasn't on your radar then. I mean, you're saying Italy wasn't on your radar really to start with, and Abruzzo certainly wasn't on. So it all came from the videos where it just popped up on YouTube or whatever, and then you started. So did you do much? I mean, you were pretty quick off the mark when the property that you chose came on the video. I mainly spoke to you, John, didn't I?
Yeah, well, we saw so many different properties and looked at a number of different channels, but we kept coming back to that one over the course of a week or so. And Llama was very, very interesting because of its location being right at the foot of the Mala Mountains in that gorgeous valley there to the east. And the house right in the village, it was important to us too, because you can walk everywhere you needed to go and get everything you need without having to have a car. Now, obviously, a car is great for doing any other travel, but day to day, not the case. It's just about being immersed in that village and dealing with the people that live there. So, when we looked at the other videos, none of the others captivated us quite as much as this one did with Llama. And for what you were offering for the money, it just matched all of our needs perfectly. The way the house was laid out, its location, the size, just about 1,100 square feet or so. Of course, Italy is always vertical, not horizontal like it is around here. So some stairs to get used to there. We have stairs here as well, but not quite to the extent. I mean, you almost need an elevator, but that's kind of cool. You just kind of move around the house, and in the end, the house was exactly the way you presented it. There was really nothing left uncovered there, and that's why there was a level of comfort on our end to pull the trigger when we did, because we were both very, very satisfied with the way you presented the house, and we just said, why screw around? Let's do it. Let's get it done.
It was so funny that night. The night we were watching the video, at the end of it, we just turned and we both looked at each other, and John said, let's do it. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it's funny because, we then told people, and it's like half the people think we're crazy and another half think we're brave, and never been to Europe.
Really? You've never been to Europe either?
Nope. Never been out of it. I've been to Bermuda. That was it. My passport got its first stamp at the Rome airport, and not a bit of Italian except for ciao. That was it. So, yeah. See,
I didn't realize you'd never even been to. I didn't realize you'd never even been to Italy. So it's
nope, never been to Europe.
I mean, I must admit, when we do these videos obviously for a reason, to try and entice people and everything else, but lots of people, as you said, some people will think you're crazy. For me, if somebody said to me, would you do it? Me personally, I don't think I might do it. My wife definitely wouldn't, but I think I would at least have had to have been to the area, for me. But the fact, so none of that really mattered as much then. What you just looked on the web and looked a little bit about it, and you just thought that's it.
Yeah, well, we did a little bit of research after we watched the video. We looked at other things regarding the area, the Abruzzo area. TV 2000 does a really great job of presenting villages and other areas in Italy, and they did one specifically on Llama, which was very, very well done. I don't know if you ever got a chance to see that or not, but great stuff. But we were originally, if you remember, going to come out early on, like right near the end of March, early April, to look at the house. And then we had a complication with Laurie's passport, and we had to cancel the trip. But we didn't want to cancel the opportunity to get this property, so we just went ahead. We just did it.
So just for people to know, the town we're speaking about, I'm just going to show a couple of pictures of the town. So the town is called Lama di Peligna, should I say? And this is in the Chieti region of Abruzzo, and it's about probably 20 minutes from where I personally live as well. Tell us what you thought a little bit. I mean, I've only got a couple of pictures here. We're going to do, because there's a lot to talk about tonight with your story and things. Tell us a little bit about the village, what you think, because sometimes, because I want you to help me a little bit with this as well. I mean, when I took this photograph, it was absolutely boiling. I think this is when I'd gone to see if your gas was connected or your water or something. And it was, you can actually see people sat in the shade. But lots of people look at these photographs and sometimes look at the videos and they say, oh, the houses are probably cheap because nobody lives there and they're run down and there's this. Can you tell us about the town, what you thought about it when you actually came here, and about when people say things like that?
Well, it's I can't even begin to describe it. It's absolutely amazing. The architecture, the street life. I mean, believe me, Lama is not a dead town. It's very active. There's so much going on. There's something to do almost every night, all types of different events. But it's just, it's that old world charm that we were looking for. And every corner you go around, there's something different. There's something beautiful. And I have a new, your S word is no longer stunning. It is spectacular. It literally is spectacular. The people are they just welcome you into your home, into their homes. These people had no idea who we are, where we're from, and anything about us. They brought us into their homes. We've lived in our house here in our little town since 2014, and our neighbors have never invited us into their home.
Yeah, we made more friends in 2 weeks in Lama than we have living here for nearly 9 years. It's hard to explain how that all works, but that's exactly how it is. The folks there are really open, and they're willing to help, talk, enjoy the day with you. It's just how they are. And we haven't experienced anything quite like that before.
There's a tremendous sense of community, family. Oh, it's it for us, or at least I know for me, it was like going back in time to a time that I missed, that I was looking for. I've been home now since last Friday, and I walk around my town. I go to the store. It just doesn't feel the same.
Everything here is so big and massive. You walk around in Lama, where it's a very, very intimate environment. The streets are really narrow. The houses are close together. Again, it's very vertical. Everybody knows one another. You're just like in this little ecosystem, all within just a couple of kilometers. And then you come here, and you can see a mile and a half down the road. But you can't do that there. Every corner is something different to look at. So you really have to pay attention to what you're doing, or you'll miss something. Yeah. So you don't have the expansiveness there that we are so used to here. I mean, a 2-lane blacktop here is equal to the autostrada over there. And there's a reason for those small, tiny Fiat Pandas, because you can't make a turn in the village without making a 3-point K turn. You can't take a car from over here and drive on the village streets and get around the corners. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
Brilliant. Somebody asked if it was a holiday home, and yes, it is a holiday home, and you're hoping to spend much more time here later.
We still have 2 children at home. Our youngest will be a senior in high school, and so we do want to give. We have a 17 and a 20-year-old here at home. We want to give them some time to get themselves established before we make the final move. So maybe 2 or 3 years. Looking to definitely sell our property here and retire and move there. When we had to leave last week, it was like it was very difficult. We left home. And
it's something that it's something you can't explain to people, isn't it? And I do say it all the time on here, and obviously it's great when people like yourselves come on to tell people as well, because it's indescribable. And the people that you meet, as you say, it becomes more about that, I think, than is there a store there? What time does this shut? Is there a thing? It's not even about. It is about your house as well, but I should imagine you feel the same way as I did before we moved out here, that the things that you remember the most are those few minutes with people, are those little chats with people, the little chats at the bar, the little chats at the supermarkets and things like that. That is missing from life, and you can't explain that, can you? It's an unbelievable thing, and I still get it now. I've been here for so long now, but it's amazing. So talking about the kind of, obviously you're saying that, I mean, you were sending me photographs from day one. So, and it was clear that you were meeting people, because just from your photographs. So I do like this. This was the first photograph you sent me, was while you were back in the States, and you said, we're coming. So where were you here on this picture?
That was at the Rochester International Airport, the first leg of our journey, because we had to take a connecting flight out of JFK. So that was us just sitting there waiting to get on our plane to head to Italy.
Excellent. So look, I'm going to flick through a few pictures. I'm going to show people. I didn't have many photographs of the house to start with. So the first thing I want to do is show the view from your roof terrace. It's a townhouse. The video is still actually on YouTube. It's actually had over 135,000 hits. I mean, it was really popular, but you guys were straight in and managed to get the place. It's a 45,000 euro townhouse, so you got a great price on it as well. I just want to show people the view from the roof terrace, which I'm going to try and do this now. Bear with me 1 second, because something's definitely going to go, which it is doing. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, so this is the view from the roof terrace. What's it like being up there and looking at this?
Oh, I don't know how many times I said to John, you feel tiny and insignificant when you're surrounded by those mountains. It's just breathtaking. And to think, every morning we'd go up there. It's absolutely spectacular. I miss it. This is very hard to watch, because I really miss it a lot.
I can hear
it doesn't really matter how good the photo or video is. It really doesn't compare to what it's like to be there in person. The video falls short of the actual experience. It's really quite breathtaking.
And then when you're up there, and every hour on the hour, the church bells all start ringing and chiming, and it's just it's.
You're making me get goose pimples, Laurie. You really are. You need to be out. You need to be here and helping me do these. Your passions is the same as mine. So I mean, just for people looking at something like that, some people are going to say, "Oh, that's up in the mountains, way up in the mountains, probably too far for me." I mean, you spent time on the beach. You've done everything, haven't you? Can you explain to people what it's like getting about and all the rest of it?
Well, we rented a car in Rome, and we made the 3-hour drive, which was very harrowing. The autostrada is very different, especially when you speak no Italian and understand no Italian. We got in the wrong lane. We went in the yellow lane, which we don't do yellow, but we went in the yellow lane. But before that, we even got stuck in another lane, and the machine was asking us for, I think, $1.70 euro, 170 in euro. And when I got money from our bank, they gave me all currency, with the lowest being a 5. So, John's panicking, I'm panicking. There's people lining up behind us.
The machine wouldn't take any paper currency.
The machine wouldn't take the paper currency. So I jumped. I mean, this is like, an hour after we got off the plane. I jumped out of the car. I ran to the car behind me, waving the 5 and saying, what did I say? Oh, io sono di America. Io sono di America. And there's an older man. He got out of the car. He came up. He put the money in. I tried to give him the 5 euro. He wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
And, that alone.
He couldn't understand why the machine wouldn't take the paper currency either, but he got tired of screwing around with it. So he just threw the change in there.
Yeah.
All was good. Everybody went on their way. So $1.70 was cheap to get us out of his way. So
and then once we got the llama, we walked everywhere. Every day we got up and we walked, went to the market, went to get fruit, went up to the village. But we spent a number of days getting the house cleaned up and preparing it and getting it ready. So it wasn't until the following week that we actually ventured out and we went to Chieti, to the IKEA, to buy some furniture pieces. That was a little interesting as well, because we're driving on these roads we're not familiar with, and getting lost and turn around, and the GPS wasn't working.
GPS doesn't work all that well over there either. It will misdirect you. That's how we got in the wrong exit off the.
I think you should always use Google Maps is the best way. GPS is especially the ones inbuilt in. I probably should have told you that before you come, but now you've done all of that. How do you feel about when you come back? Do you think it will all be just easy now? Now you've done it once.
Much easier.
Yeah, it'll definitely be easier because even the day we decided to go over to the Adriatic Sea, it was about a 45-minute drive. Much smoother because we were already familiar with what we were doing in the process. To be 45 minutes from the Adriatic Sea, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be living that type of a life. I never thought of that. And that's where I had it's just
well, part of the problem too with driving was that the rental gave us this the Opel Grandland, which was like an Equinox, like a SUV, way too big for the village streets. Perfect for over here, but too big over there. And it was a brand new electronic hybrid, which I knew absolutely nothing about. I had to spend 20 minutes on YouTube learning how to get the car out of the parking garage. And I'm a car guy, so it was just one of those things where, that on top of everything else was a level of stress that I just didn't need that day.
Yeah.
But
I think as well, after a long trip, especially coming from the US, and you've got 2 flights. You even said when you sent me that first photograph, and now starts a long day, so I think there is that level of stress, and then obviously getting your way to Lama. So once you got there, because obviously this is always my thing, I'm thinking to myself, obviously the first time I knew which way it was going to bring you in. I knew it was going to bring you over the top of the mountains, and I knew coming from Rome, that's what it's like, unless you go around the longer way and cut through towards Pescara and all the rest of it. Once you actually got there, how did you? Or once you start getting closer to the town, were you nervous? Were you thinking, "Oh my God, this is amazing"? Or were you thinking, "Oh my God, we seem like we're in the middle of nowhere"? Or what was going through your head, especially the way you came, because you came up and over the ski resorts, so you certainly come a nice way. What were you thinking as you were getting closer, within half an hour, say? What were your thoughts?
Well, it was funny because every time we went around a corner, there was this new structure, this mountain jutting out at us. And I can't tell you how many times I made John pull over to the side of the road. I'm jumping out, I'm taking pictures. And I just kept saying, "This is amazing. This is amazing. We live here. This is amazing." But yeah, I said, stop. I got to get out. I got to take pictures. And we did. So it took us a little bit longer to get home because I'm jumping out, taking all these pictures while he's driving.
Yeah. Oh, and the roads were fantastic. They were all full of like hairpin turns and up and down mountains. It was like you were driving in a video game. It was awesome. I loved it.
And then of course, there's the giant signs about bear crossings.
Yeah. Oh, we wanted to see a bear.
We wanted to see a bear. We didn't see any bears.
So, but again, once you know the mountains and everything else, it's fantastic. And when you come back in winter, you're going to see a different thing altogether again, with the snow-capped mountains, all the rest of it. But as you say, 45 minutes, you're down on the beach. I think that's the hard thing as well, to try and explain to people how Abruzzo is, because you can be in the wilds, but then you can just be wherever you want to be, can't you? It's not a difficult area to get around.
No, and it's like every turn there's a new village. There's a new place to explore. If anybody arrives there and says there's nothing to do, there's something wrong, because we didn't even get to see all of Lama, walking around. But every turn there's a different village, there's a different structure, there's a castle up on the hill, there's churches everywhere. It's absolutely breathtaking. And to think that we have the opportunity to walk where medieval structures existed. That just we were in places that were older than the United States, and I love that. I really like that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I'm sure people are going to want to know about the house and that kind of thing. So let's show a few pictures of the house, and I'm going to show a video of the house because I've not got that many photographs. I love this next picture. Let me just get a view, Laurie, hanging out of the window of the house. I think it's a great picture. But this is your townhouse. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it? How many levels? How many bedrooms? That kind of thing. And I'm going to try and do the YouTube video. If any adverts pop up, then I'll try and get rid of them as soon as possible. Let's see if you want to just give it. I'm going to skip through the video. But just tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the bottom right is a separate little, that's the cantina where they used to keep the animals, but it's now converted over to like a little apartment, studio apartment. But you come into our nice, cozy kitchen, very comfortable. Fireplace in the corner just wowed me. I can't wait to use that. I mean, it's perfect. It's ready to move in. And
you didn't do any work. This is how you bought the house.
This is how we bought it. Walked in first day. This is what we saw when we walked in, and clean, neat. It's ready to go. We did. I mean, we just took some pieces of furniture and changed it around. We rearranged this as a master bedroom. We're going to keep this as our master bedroom. We've changed this. We put some different bedding and things here.
And you've got a balcony, haven't you? You've got a balcony on every
balcony. Two
balcony.
windows here with the balconies that go out, and there's some plants out there that survived. I don't know how. Large wardrobe. I mean, massive. The bathrooms are perfect. They're ideal. We did remove the televisions that were mounted. They weren't working. We moved those. So now this is going up to the third floor, and they have it set up as a bedroom up there. We did disassemble the bed that was up there, but again, the window that looks right out. I mean, this is exactly how it looks when we open our window.
Yeah.
It's exactly as you show it.
So let's go. This is another bedroom and a bathroom.
Yeah, this is the one we're gonna. We cleared this out. We took this bed apart and we reassembled it upstairs in the laundry room, and we're gonna make this our living room.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So right now it's empty. We did keep the wardrobe in there, but we cleaned that out.
Excellent.
And this takes us up to the top floor where I love the rooftop terrace. We stopped at IKEA. We got a little table and chairs for out there. We put a bed up here, like a twin size bed. We put up here so we can sit up here and relax even. We're changing that around a little bit, and we got a table and chairs for out here. We've got some lounge chairs. So we love the sun, and we're going to spend time up there in the sun. I did my laundry a couple of times, and
you did it the Italian way, did you?
I did it the Italian way. I sure did. Yeah.
Superb.
Yep.
Excellent. So I mean, it is a great property you've got.
It really is.
I mean, when you obviously saw the property, I was there. I couldn't get hold of you on the phone, and I was actually doing videos of where I've put the keys and how to turn the water on and all that kind of thing. And then you just pulled up. Well, you sent me a message, didn't you, saying we're here, and you were just sort of around the corner from me. So once you actually saw the house, in the flesh, so to speak, well, how did you feel then?
We were at home.
Yeah,
it was home.
It exceeded our expectations because when you look at photos and videos, you always assume that it looks better than it is in reality. So when you when you actually see it, you got to keep that in mind. But in actuality, it was better than the way it viewed in the video and photo. So we were very
pleased,
very satisfied with the way everything looked and appeared. And there's a little getting used to with some of the receptacles because the C&L type plugs, they're a little different than on the refrigerator and the microwave, which uses an F-style plug. So we had to go back and forth to the hardware store and try to explain that situation so we could get our appliances working.
Yeah, our communication skills. The first time we went uptown, I was scared. I was really scared because I have a little notebook, and in my notebook, I wrote down all these keywords and phrases that I thought would be important and handy. But when you walk in the supermercado and everybody is speaking Italian, I panicked. I was really scared at first, but I thought, you know what, let's do this. I went right back to the deli. And I said, I just walked right up. I said, parle inglés? She shook her head no. I said, io sono di America. And she said, no English. And I said, no Italiano. But I pointed to the cheese I wanted. And I knew pane, for the bread, panini for bread. And so I just pointed to things. And then it's funny because I got to the checkout, and Rosella, she goes by Rose, actually lived in Canada for many years, and she spoke English. So she helped me out. Yeah, she helped a lot. Yeah. And her husband, Nick, which was great. But, just trying to communicate with people.
But you say about the language thing, you were sending me, I think maybe the first day I possibly didn't speak to you, but then from day 2 on, because obviously myself, my wife Silvana wasn't well at the time, so we couldn't get together to meet you properly. But obviously we're there thinking, I wonder how they're going on. Didn't hear anything from the first day, but then from day 2 onwards, you must have either picked Italian up, or you just, because you were bombarding me with photographs of everything you were doing, all these people you met and things like that. I just want to just show a few photos. I mean, this must have been only sort of day 2 or something, because you were. But what happened? What were these people? Just tell everybody about.
We would go up to Leo's Ristorante in town, and this was our waitress Carla, and Carla spoke English.
Did she? Right.
And all along, I said something to her. I said, "Oh, are you getting ready to go back to the university?" She said, "No, I still have 2 more years in school."
High school.
And high school. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I thought. And so here she is. She goes, "My birthday's next week. I'll be 17." But her English was wonderful. So we would communicate a lot with her, and I'd ask her a lot of questions. And she was just marvelous.
Yeah.
And she worked every day, every single day she worked.
Right. And this, I absolutely love this picture. This is just
this is Teresa and Luisa. Teresa is in the solid blue, and it was funny because I am certain the first day, she lives right around the corner from us, and they would sit out on the stoop every day. These 2 older Italian women, and we came around the corner, and as soon as she saw us, she just started going fast in Italian.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, slow down. And I'm giving her the timeout symbol. And I'm thinking to myself, this lady doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I'm like, slow down. And I did use the translator app for a little bit, but this was a woman, 82 years old, brought us into her home, walked us through every floor of the house. I'm using my translator, and she'd grab it and she'd be talking into it and she'd hand it back to me. She brings us into her dining room, sits us down at the dining room table. Now we were getting ready to go uptown to have dinner. Yeah. So this is about 8:30 in the evening.
She's breaking out family photos and talking about her husband and all the work he did.
They had a 50th anniversary. He's deceased, but she sits us down in the dining room, and she brings out her homemade limoncello.
And we started doing shots.
And we started doing shots with her of homemade limoncello. And my chest was burning. She's laughing. It was amazing. My mom is 82 years old. My mom would never bring strangers into her home, let alone make homemade limoncello and sit there at the table and do shots with them.
Yeah, she said she doesn't drink very much, but yet the bottle was empty.
The bottle was empty.
When we finished it.
I mean,
what a brilliant story! Brilliant story.
It was wonderful.
But again, that's the kind of, and it's not just the old folks, as you said. There's the young girl there, the 17. It seems like there's no. Somebody said your townhouse came with a built-in nonna.
Right. Yeah.
But it's funny because it's true of all ages, isn't it? Young people mix with the old. I think the old live longer because they're allowed to mix with the young ones. They families around, friends around. It's a different world, isn't it? Completely.
Yeah. We were sitting one evening at the cafe, and John and I were talking to each other, and he's pointing to the table next to us, and there were probably 2 or 3 men well into their 60s, maybe 70s, with a couple of young men in their 20s.
Yeah,
sitting there
sharing Peronis.
Yeah, sharing Peronis, having cigarettes, talking to each other.
Yeah, hanging out together. Around here you don't see 20-year-olds and 60-year-olds hanging out.
And then one night in the restaurant there was a young boy, I don't know what, maybe 12 or 13 years old, got up from the table and went over and kissed his father.
Yeah, hugged him and kissed him. And before he left,
and it's those types of things that don't exist in American culture.
It's sad, isn't it? It's sad that we're talking. The world can't. There's no way it's always been like this. As in the UK as well. There's no way it's always been the way it is now. But when you come to Italy and you see it, because sometimes you can say that these people of 80, they're going to have gone soon, and long goes then that kind of mentality. But the kids have got that kind of mentality as well. So I can't see when it's ever going to leave Italy. And for me, that's the beauty of of
And
the place.
I was trying to explain to my mom how it was, and my mom's like, "Well, where do you buy clothes? Is there a Walmart? Is there a Target?" I was like, "No." I said, "It's the people in Lama, and I'm sure this is everywhere. They get by with what they need, not with what they want. Here in the States, it's big, bigger, biggest, more, bling, 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 and it's a culture I don't want to be a part of anymore.
It's very excessive.
It's very excessive.
I mean, at the end of the day as well, if you want to go to a shopping centre and everything else, you drive wherever you go to Carsley and go to Lanciano, you can get everything. But life's not about that, is it? Life's not about where do I get this from. So just to move on, because I know there's another great story that you made me emotional before we said it before. So I want to run through some of these pictures. Tell us, this is your new favourite drink now then? You were telling me?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, these were spritz.
Very refreshing.
Extremely refreshing. And a 17-year-old makes them quite well.
And here's some more people that you met in the village.
Yeah, this is our neighbor Sergio, who speaks no English. And he lives right across the way from us, and his sister was visiting from the Adriatic coast. So, he had to introduce us to her, and we're all trying to converse. And
she's inviting us out to her beach house, which we may not get to till next year.
But Sergio every morning. Real Italian pizza. And I thought it was interesting that the pizza is made for one, and they don't cut it into slices.
No.
But the polo, the chicken at the bottom, that was my meal. It's just, we ate very healthy and fresh every day, fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
This is our day at the sea. I think it's Spiaggia Morgia, as I say.
Yeah, Le Morge. Yeah, Le Morge. Yeah, it's a nice. I had to put this one in, John, looking very very cool on the beach.
Well, it's funny. You could tell we were Americans because we had water socks and baseball caps.
Right.
we stood out. Everybody knew we were Americans.
Brilliant. So this is obviously getting ready for the festa. Again, people might look at this photograph and say, "Well, where is everybody?" Tell us about the festas that you went to while you were here as well.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they set up a lot of stuff during the day, so you don't see many people. But as soon as the sun starts to go down, the place just explodes. And goes on till 2 a.m. It's amazing.
The one festa, we counted 6 different music stations all going on at the same time in the village. And we were in bed at 1 o'clock in the morning with the windows open. You could still hear them.
And then fireworks started to go off on the mountain across from us, so you could get a good view of the hilltop with a fantastic display going on.
But really, again, sometimes, I mean, and you'll vouch for this as well, you can walk around these villages. There's certain time when Italians eat, they eat all at a certain time, and you see nobody, don't you? The streets are, and then, as you say, the sun goes down, because Italians don't like being out in the sun. It's only us crazy foreigners that love being out in the sun. They stay in the shade, they stay in the cool. So it is strange that certain times of day you can go somewhere and you can say, "Well, I've not seen one person." And then, as you say, 20 minutes later, all of a sudden things start to open back up again. The shops open up, the bars, and then you can, and that's life, isn't it? That's what it's like here. It's just. So I want to quickly skip through these because I am desperate to get onto the story you want to say. So near to you is the Grotta del Cavolone. Did you go up on the cable?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was incredible. You get into a cage lift for a 20-minute ride up to the mountaintop. And then you got to walk through it all. John and I affectionately call this the belly of the beast. We did this. We walked it. And I have arthritis in both my knees, and I was bound and determined, I'm doing this. And it was funny because I brought one pair of long pants with me to Europe, and they were white jeans. So again, everybody knew I was American.
Well, the cable car takes you up to a little landing, but then you have to hike up to the opening to the cave. That's another 20 or 30 minutes of very steep stairs. It's fantastic views along the way, and then you start the journey down into the caves from there, which are all stalactites, stalagmites, dripping water,
cold,
all rock. a real interesting experience there with making your way down to what Laurie affectionately called, as you see in this photo here, the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
And then you got to turn around and go back. Laurie was thinking that there was going to be a bus or something that picked us up at the end of this. And she goes, we have to go back the same way we just came. She goes, I don't know if I can do this.
Brilliant. And that's only a few minutes from your house, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. 2.5 kilometers.
Somebody's just said something then, which I agree with. This, I'm just going to put this on Tony, if I may. What Kristen wrote, he put, you saw so many wonderful things and they're also different. Why does that keep going off? It's amazing to think variety is all in Abruzzo. Again, it's true, isn't it? You've got the beach, you've got the mountains, you've got everything in between.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, I'm desperate now to because this I love what you told me earlier. So before I show this photograph of this area, you told me something earlier which I didn't know. You said that your grandparents or your grandparents were from Italy. So once you decided to buy this property and it was in Abruzzo and everything else, you had no connection to Abruzzo, you'd never been there. What did you actually find out? Tell everybody what you found out.
My parents divorced when I was very young. And my paternal grandparents were from Italy, and I only remember them very vaguely from being a toddler. They spoke no English. They spoke all Italian. So, when my parents divorced and went their separate ways, I kind of lost contact with my family. And then I reestablished over the years. So when we decided we were going to do this townhouse, I got in touch with my cousins. And 2 of my aunts are still alive. They're in their 90s. And they were both born in the States. So I asked my cousins, what kind of information can you give me? So my one cousin sent me copies of my grandmother and my grandfather's naturalization papers. My grandfather was naturalized in 1934. My grandmother, the day after Pearl Harbor in 1941. And on those naturalization papers, I'm getting goosebumps. It says where they were born. And they were born, my grandmother was born in the village of Barea in 1895. And my grandfather, and I'm standing in her village in this picture. And at the other end of the lake in the far background is the Valletta of Barea, where my grandfather was born. I had no idea. No clue.
Just so people know why you're getting emotional. I'm getting emotional now, but this is in Abruzzo, isn't it? And
this is in Abruzzo.
It's half an hour from your house.
Yeah. And we took a day trip and we went there, and I can't believe
we spent the whole day there.
We spent the whole day there. I can't believe that this is the village that my family came from, and I had no clue. I had absolutely no idea until after we purchased the house. I didn't know. And now we couldn't get to my grandfather's village because we were there on the national holiday, Ferragosto. Yeah. So there was no parking.
Yeah, this place was packed.
But we were able to get to grandmother's, and we walked from the new town up through the medieval part. And of course, when I got to the medieval part, I had another shock of a lifetime because I'm out on a terrace, and this terrace overlooks the valley, and there's a plaque. So I went up to this plaque, and again, I know no Italian, but I'm reading the first line, and it says Marianne Campana. She was born in 1913, emigrated to Youngstown in Ohio. That's where I'm from. I was raised in Youngstown, Ohio. I about dropped on the ground. And then it says Oak Street Elementary. I know where that's at. Lincoln Elementary. I know where that's at. I know where East High School is. I went to a different high school. But then she went to Youngstown College. That's where I graduated from. I went to Youngstown State University and graduated from there. Yeah. So, I mean, this just came flooding at me. And it was very overwhelming because I was like, talk about a small world. I'm in Abruzzo, in this village. And there's a woman who made history by being the first female pilot to break all these world records. And she's from this village and grew up where I lived as a child. It was meant to be. Yeah. It was meant to be.
It's an amazing story, it really is. And the fact that your grandparents were so close. I mean, it's mad. You saw everything's by chance, isn't it? Well, we say by chance. Is it by chance? Whatever you think of it. You saw a YouTube channel. Thankfully, you saw our YouTube channel. You chose a house to find out then that you're half an hour from where your grandpa is mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. So while you were up there, then you sent me this photograph. What's this one all about? Is this from the same area?
We were actually driving between the two villages for my grandparents.
It was on either end of the lake.
Yeah, and we drove past this stand. It was a little tent, and there was this old Italian man hand making baskets and selling them on the side of the road. And we passed him, and we were turning around to go back. I said to John, I said, I've got to stop. I've got to buy one of these. I need to get out of the car and go make a connection with this man. And again, he spoke no Italian or no English. I spoke no Italian. But for, €10, I've got a beautiful hand woven. I mean, he was sitting there making them and selling them. And so it's at the house in Abruzzo, and we will, use it. And we have that story to go with it. And I'm sure if we go back there, he'll still be there selling his baskets. And it was just amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic story. The whole thing's fantastic. Before you came out, Laurie, obviously we'd not really had much contact because I'd mainly dealt with John for one reason, or another. And then obviously you contacted me. It was probably only a couple of weeks before and said, you need to be speaking to me as well, which I'm glad you did. And you told me that, because I asked when you were coming, obviously, to Lama, what your plan was, and you said, I need to see the Colosseum. It's on my bucket list. Even if I just pass by it, before I come to my house. Now, you didn't. In the end, you wanted then just to see your home, didn't you? But then at the end of your holiday, you went to Rome. Was it what you expected? Did you enjoy your last couple of days?
I'm a former social studies teacher.
Right.
And, I've taught about the Roman Colosseum for years. And I said, it's number one on my bucket list. I have got to stand where the emperors ruled. I've got to do it. And so we had to return. Our flight was leaving at 10 a.m. out of Rome, and the car rental had to be back at 7 a.m. And I knew that if we left Lama, we'd have to leave like at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I said to John, let's book one night in a B&B. And it was amazing. And we drove in, and we got a 3:30 tour. It was about 3 hours long. We did the Roman Forum as well. And it was, I still can't believe I was there. I cannot believe that's the Forum with the Colosseum in the background. And it's to think that we stood and walked the grounds where the Roman emperors ruled is just absolutely astounding. It truly is. And we were only in Rome for about 8 hours is all the time we got there. So we do have to go back.
Yeah. And again, it's only at the end of the day, it's less than a 3 hour drive from your house, isn't it? So it's no big deal to go there and enjoy it again. So obviously, John, you're a photographer, aren't you? Is that your business? Photographer? Is that photography? Is that what you do? Just a passion,
sort of, yeah. It's more of a passion, amateur type. But I do integrate that in with my work. So
And it was funny. This was our last night in Italy, and up to this point, we'd never had any pasta even. So I love gnocchi. And so we got 2 giant plates of that and champagne on the house. They gave us champagne, and the hospitality and the friendship is very genuine. It really is.
Yeah. And then obviously you sent me a night shot of the Colosseum. Great picture.
That's with my phone, and that's my favorite photo. I love it. And that's you stand there and you're just in awe. You're absolutely in awe.
Yeah, all these are phone pictures actually. The stuff from my camera I haven't even processed yet. I haven't had time.
And I never had gelato until we went to Italy. I'd never had it before.
But you liked it.
Oh man, I liked it a lot. This was a 4 scoop gelato.
Yeah.
Just a 4 scoop one then, just to gently. Absolutely brilliant. So that was your Italian. Hang on a second. Sorry, I just knocked you off the stream. So that was your Italian adventure. And how long were you here for? Was it about 10 days or 12 days or something like that? In total, how long were you here?
Yeah, we were there about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So obviously you've gone through all the emotions, even with us tonight. You've gone through all the emotions. Now you're back. I know you mentioned before that you sat, but when you actually think, because at the end of the day, you've got a place here now, so that nobody's going to take that from you. I know you can't wait to get back out. Obviously, you saw Rome, you saw all the great things. What have you taken away? What's hit you the most about this 2 weeks that you've had in Italy? What would you say is the thing that's really got you?
It has to be the lifestyle, the culture,
and the people.
Yeah, I mean, neighbors. That's all part of it. You know, I was really to the point where I'm just tired of American culture, the fast pace, the way people treat each other, how politics has divided the nation, how people are separated from each other. You know, kids like living on their phones, disrespect. I mean, just everything. And to go there and the culture, the people, the lifestyle, it's truly something we've longed for. And now we know where to find it. And, you know, if I could, I would be there tomorrow. If I could do it, but you know, I got a few more years before I can fully retire. But yeah, it's everything we want for the remainder of our life now.
And you, John. I mean, I know obviously, Laura, there was lots of emotions for her and the rest of it because of family ties and everything else. You, what would you say was how do you feel about the whole thing now?
Similar feelings there. The people were really cool. I even though we've only been there for a couple of weeks, I do miss the neighbors and the friends that we made there. Can't wait to go back and talk to them again. Just great people, fun to be around, and very entertaining. There's never a dull moment. But on the flip side of that too, the weather's fantastic, and as a photographer, the picture taking opportunities, you just step out your door and there's really cool stuff to photograph. Didn't even make it around one quadrant of the village yet, so there's a lot more to discover there. But there's just such interesting subject matter, no matter where you go. Even if you just have your phone with you, there's just great opportunities to document everything around you. It's very, very engrossing, Very.
So no regrets at all then from the decision of buying remotely, sending money to wherever I told you to send it, and never questioning anything, just doing everything.
You are so well organized, and you just took us by the hand and guided us step by step, everything we needed to do. It was a very smooth transition. It was a very easy process. I mean, you just provided us with everything we needed, and it was ideal. I mean, it really was. Your services were above and beyond. They truly were.
It's kind of you to say so.
Very cool. Savannah's not there, but she handles most of the administrative, legal, and the accounting stuff. So whenever I had a question regarding how to do something, how to get a payment somewhere, she immediately responded, told us what we needed to do, and we just did what you guys told us to do, and really kind of avoided a lot of issues and problems. That's how we were able to get over there so fast. We could be living there right now full time because of what you guys did, and given the fact that some of that happened as Festa, got into full swing. That's something that a lot of people don't understand too. Is that if you need to do something, you do it before August or after August, because if it's in August, it's not going to happen until the following month. And somehow you were able to get some things done for us that we didn't expect, but it was very much appreciated.
No, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you guys. As I say, next time you're out, then Silvana will be with us as well, and we'll definitely have a pizza. No, pasta. We'll have some. Now, absolute pleasure meeting you both. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody else who's watching, everybody seems to be giving nice comments. So just thank you, and I really look forward to seeing you again as soon as possible.
Yep. Ciao, ciao.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. We'll speak to you really soon.
Yep.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye. Okay, folks, Told you that was going to be a good one, doesn't it? Quite emotional. I'm feeling a little bit emotional now. What a story, Carol, and an inspiring story. I agree with you. It is what a great story. And the passion from both of them is brilliant. They're great people, and it's just so good. This is part of our job that we love. You know, there's always stress, of course, there's and all the rest of it, but you know, when you see the results, it's brilliant, and we just want as many of you to come out here and experience the same. It's not a sales trick. It's an amazing place. I've always said it, and I will say it every single week and keep saying it and keep saying it. The whole of Italy is fantastic. Abruzzo just has something else. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I say next week is a week off for me, so no live stream next Thursday, but the Thursday after we'll be back on it as soon as possible. I may do a couple of surprise things for you next week. We'll see how things go. Thank you so much for your support as usual. Thanks for so many watching, and thanks to Laurie and John again just for being fantastic and sharing everything with us. Okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, and remember, book these tours. Come and see Abruzzo for yourself. Go onto our website and have a look. See you soon.